Hey there, folks! Welcome back to another deep dive into the complex world of global economics. Today, we're diving headfirst into the messy, complicated, and frankly quite baffling world of international trade wars. These aren't just abstract concepts, they have real-world implications that affect everything from the price of your morning coffee to the job market. Specifically, we're talking about President Trump's decision to slap tariffs, worth a whopping $262 billion on goods from the European Union and Canada. This move was unprecedented and sent shockwaves through the global economy. Yeah, you heard that right, our allies. The very countries we have long-standing relationships with are suddenly facing hefty tariffs. Now, to understand this whole shebang, we need to rewind a bit to Trump's America First policy. This policy is a cornerstone of his administration and aims to prioritize American interests above all else. The idea is to protect American jobs and industries, even if it means throwing a wrench into the global trade system. This protectionist stance is seen as a way to revive American manufacturing and bring back jobs that had been lost to overseas competition. Think of it like this. Imagine your family decides to only buy groceries from your neighbor, even if they charge double for that gallon of milk. It's a well-intentioned move to support local businesses, but it comes at a cost. Sure, it might help your neighbor out, but it's going to leave your wallet feeling pretty light. And that's exactly what happened on a larger scale with these tariffs. This protectionist approach forms the bedrock of Trump's trade policy. He believes that by imposing tariffs, he can force other countries to give the U.S. better trade deals, essentially using economic pressure as a bargaining chip. He believes that by imposing tariffs, he can force other countries to give the U.S. better trade deals. The idea is to create leverage, making it more costly for other nations to maintain their current trade practices. It's a bold strategy, but as we'll see, it comes with some serious consequences. The ripple effects are felt across various sectors, leading to economic uncertainty and strained international relations. Buckle up, folks, because this is where things start to get interesting. We're about to explore the highs and lows, the winners and losers, and the long-term impact of these trade wars on the global stage. Hi everyone, and welcome to Novum Tempus. Today we're unpacking a story that's shaking up the world of trade, the US tariffs on the EU and Canada, and their far-reaching impacts. From German cars to French wines and Italian cheeses, we'll explore how these measures are reshaping industries, economies, and international relationships. If you're ready to dive in, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell for more insights. Let's get started. The first shots in this trade war were fired back in 2018. It was a year that marked a significant shift in global trade dynamics, as the United States, under the leadership of President Donald Trump, decided to take a more aggressive stance on trade policies. Trump, citing national security concerns, yes, you read that right, national security from Canadian maple syrup, imposed tariffs on steel and aluminum imports. This move was part of his broader agenda to prioritize American industries and reduce the trade deficit. Initially, these tariffs were aimed at China, which had been accused of flooding the market with cheap steel and aluminum. But, like a rogue firework on the 4th of July, they quickly spread to hit our allies, the EU and Canada. This unexpected expansion of the tariffs caused a ripple effect across the global economy. Now you might be wondering, why steel and aluminum? Well, these industries are considered vital for national defense. Steel and aluminum are essential materials used in the production of military equipment, infrastructure, and various other critical applications. But critics argue that using national security as a justification was just a convenient excuse to protect American jobs, even if it meant hurting our allies. They pointed out that the real motive was to bolster domestic industries that had been struggling to compete with cheaper foreign imports. The EU and Canada were understandably miffed. They argued that these tariffs were not only unfair, but also illegal under international trade rules. They saw this move as a violation of the principles of free trade and a threat to the economic relationships that had been built over decades. After all, these were countries we'd fought alongside with for decades, shared intelligence with, and drank beer with at international summits. The bonds formed through years of cooperation and mutual support were now being tested by these sudden and unexpected tariffs. Slapping them with tariffs felt like a betrayal, a punch in the gut from a friend. The sense of camaraderie and trust that had been nurtured over the years was now overshadowed by a growing sense of mistrust and resentment. The impact of these tariffs would be felt not just in the economic sphere but also in the diplomatic relationships between these long-standing allies. The European Union, never one to back down from a fight, especially when it involves cheese and wine, decided to hit back. They retaliated with tariffs on a range of American goods, including iconic products like bourbon, jeans, and motorcycles. The message was clear: you want to play hardball? Two can play that game. The EU, a staunch advocate for free trade and multilateralism, argued that President Trump's actions were not only damaging to the global economy, but also threatened to unravel the very fabric of the rules-based international order. They also pointed out the hypocrisy of the situation. The US, a country built on free trade and open markets, was now actively undermining the very system it had championed for decades. It was a move that baffled many, and left experts scratching their heads, wondering what on earth was going on. The EU also ramped up its trade enforcement mechanisms, ensuring that any breaches of international trade rules by the US would be met with swift and decisive action. Additionally, the EU sought to strengthen its trade partnerships with other global players, aiming to isolate the US and mitigate the impact of the tariffs. By bolstering its own economic resilience and market stability, the EU aimed to weather the storm and emerge stronger from the trade conflict. Germany, France, and Italy, feeling the pinch. The economic landscape of Europe has been significantly altered, with some countries feeling the effects more acutely than others. Within the EU, some countries were hit harder than others. The ripple effects of tariffs and trade barriers have created a complex web of challenges for various industries. Let's take Germany, for example. As the largest economy in Europe, Germany's industrial sector is a critical component of its economic strength. Germany, the economic powerhouse of Europe, is famous for its cars. The automotive industry is not just a source of national pride, but also a major employer and export earner. Think BMWs, Mercedes, Volkswagens, those sleek, powerful machines that make car enthusiasts drool. These brands are synonymous with quality and engineering excellence, but with tariffs on cars and auto parts, the German automotive industry found itself in a tight spot. The increased costs have led to higher prices for consumers and reduced competitiveness in the global market. Then there's France, the land of wine, cheese, and romance. French culture and cuisine are celebrated worldwide, and the country's agricultural sector is a vital part of its economy. The tariffs hit French winemakers, especially those producing luxury brands like Bordeaux and Champagne, right where it hurts: their wallets. These wines are not just beverages, they are symbols of French heritage and craftsmanship. Suddenly, those fancy bottles of bubbly became a lot more expensive for American consumers, leading to lower sales and, you guessed it, job losses. The impact on small vineyards and family-owned businesses has been particularly severe. And let's not forget Italy, the home of pasta, pizza, and of course cheese. Italian cuisine is beloved around the world, and its food products are a significant export. Italian cheesemakers, particularly those producing Parmigiano Reggiano and Gorgonzola, were left with a sour taste in their mouths, as tariffs made it harder and more expensive to sell their products in the US. These cheeses are not just food items, they are a part of Italy's cultural identity and culinary tradition. Canada caught in the crossfire. Now let's talk about Canada, our friendly neighbor to the north. Canada, a country known for its maple syrup, hockey, and unwavering politeness, found itself in a particularly awkward position. As the U.S. closest neighbor and largest trading partner, Canada was caught in the crossfire of this trade war. The U.S. slapped tariffs on Canadian steel, aluminum, and even lumber, arguing that Canada was unfairly subsidizing its industries. Canada, in turn, retaliated with tariffs on a range of American goods, including dairy products, orange juice, and ketchup. Yes, ketchup, the condiment that brings families together at BBQs, became a weapon in this trade war. The situation put a strain on the historically close relationship between the two countries. Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau, usually known for his diplomacy and charm, didn't mince words when expressing his disappointment with the U.S. actions. In his current presidency, Donald Trump has doubled down on his tariff strategy, claiming it is necessary to protect American jobs and industries. Trump stated, "We need to put America first. These tariffs are essential to ensure that our industries thrive and our workers are protected." The impact of these tariffs has been significant, leading to protests and economic concerns on both sides of the border. And that's a wrap on today's deep dive into the global trade shakeup. We've explored how tariffs are impacting industries, economies, and international relationships, from German automobiles to French wines and beyond. If you found this video insightful, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and share it with someone who'd find it interesting. For more thought-provoking analysis on the issues shaping our world, hit that subscribe button and ring the notification bell so you never miss an update. Thanks for watching. Until next time, stay curious and informed.